Oh, some coffee is good. Hey friends, Jake back with another video, and today we're going to talk about filters. This is not a sponsored video, but I was sent a pack of Freewell, their premium series filters to review, and so we're going to review those. We're going to talk about filters, why you need filters for your drone, what they help you do, and the different types of filters for your drone. As always, the links for these products are in the description. It is an affiliate link. It will help this channel out. It won't cost you anything else, but it will help me continue to make content like this and hopefully help you improve your skills as well. So thanks for using those affiliate links. I appreciate your support very much. So first, let's talk about filters and why you need them. You need filters to control the amount of light that's hitting the sensor in your drone. Most drones do not have a variable aperture like a DSLR would, and you want to control the amount of light hitting the sensor so that you can keep your shutter speed at double your frame rate. That's known as the 180-degree rule. So if you're shooting at 24 frames per second, you want to keep your shutter speed at 50, 48, 50. 50 is usually what you get. If you're shooting at 30 frames per second, you want to keep your shutter speed at 60. If you're shooting at 120 frames a second, you want to keep your shutter speed at 240. That's the 180-degree rule. The reason for that is it gives you this very nice natural motion blur between the frames. If you've ever seen drone footage, including on my channel before I got my ND filters, that stuttered as it panned around or panned up or looked around, that's because the shutter speed was very multiple times of the frame rate, and so it gave you this very weird, unnatural looking thing. It also helps to control moire effect and some other things like that, where you can see lines moving in really highly detailed images. It just helps to smooth all that out and help it disappear somewhat, hopefully. So drone filters come in two different varieties. You have a standard ND filter and you have a polarized ND filter. Now, they do the same thing as far as cutting down light. However, polarized filters take it a different direction. When you're doing photography with drone, keeping your shutter speed down to double your frame rate is not an issue because you're only taking one frame, you're only taking one picture. Now you want to control the amount of motion blur you have using an ND filter. That's a different story. If you want to get blur on a beach with the waves coming in, or blur on a waterfall with the water coming down, that's a way to control your shutter speed and get your shutter speed down, is to put a darker ND filter on there so your shutter speed has a longer opening. Polarizing works great because when you want to get rid of extra light that's bouncing off of objects, and it allows you to see and get more saturation, especially in the blues and greens. So in this shot here, if you look at the sky, it's very light blue. This is a non-polarized filter. It is great. It cut down the light to keep me at a 180-degree rule. So my shutter speed was double my frame rate. But then if you look at this shot here, this is where I have the polarizer on, and the polarizer is lined up correctly with the sun, so you can see how much deeper blue and more saturated the blue is. If everything around me wasn't dead and covered in snow, you'd notice that the greens were a lot greener as well. So it allows for deeper saturation because it gets rid of some of the unwanted light bouncing off of different objects. Now, polarized filters are great to use, but they're a little bit different because you have to line up the polarization to counteract the rays, the light that's bouncing off of things that you don't want from the sun, which means it's only going to work in one direction. And the way these work is they have a little ring that you twist and turn, and as you twist and turn it, you'll see it get darker or lighter. So you can control the amount of saturation, you can control the amount of polarization on your filter as you go. The only way to do that with a drone, and this is why I primarily just use regular ND filters when I'm filming with a drone, because I'm going left, right, I'm going up, down, I'm going all over the place, and I don't want to stop and land and adjust my polarizer every single time. That's why I use regular ND filters most of the time. Polarizers work fantastic if you've planned out your shots and you know you want to get certain things. Then use a polarizer because you get really good deep color saturation. Polarizers also work really well for drone photography because you can go set up your shot, get everything ready, and then put the drone up there and take that shot, and then come down, find your next shot, set it up, and take that shot. For video, I find that ND filters work fantastically well. Now, if you're wanting to take a video over water, but you want to get rid of the shine, the reflections of the water somewhat, then a polarized filter will work great. But again, you have to line up the polarizer first, then take off and fly that shot. And then any other shot you make, unless it's exactly along the same direction that you've just made, is not going to work as well because the polarizer only works by blocking light coming to the sensor from certain angles. Now, Freewell was kind enough to send me their all-day filter pack, their 4K series, which is a great filter pack. Comes with 8 filters, plenty of filters to choose from. It has an ND4, it has an ND8, it has an ND16, it has a polarizer only, it has an ND8 polarized, ND16 polarized, ND32 polarized, and an ND64 polarized, which, if you fly over snow in full sun, the ND64 is a fantastic addition. Now, how do these compare to some other brands that I have used? I will say the glass is excellent. I've seen no visual degradation, no weird color shift, no strange artifacts or anything like that, so I can say that the glass is great. If I had any nitpicks at all, I would say it's the case is really large compared to some other brands. It's not bad, it's not terrible, but it is big, and so when you're cramming everything into a backpack and running off through the wilds of Alaska, or hiking or camping or fishing or canoeing or kayaking or anything like that of the stuff that I do on this channel, size matters. So not a deal breaker, but still something to consider. Now, it does come in a nice case, although it's not, I would say it's not as rigid as some of the competition, but it is a good case. The filters themselves are made of metal. The polarized filters have a ring that you can turn to get the polarization set up, which is great. The ring does seem to have a spot where it binds up a little bit. It's not bad. It just is a noticeable place where it gets a little bit more difficult to turn, and then they turn the rest of the way. The ND filters were great. As I said, the glass is excellent. The build quality seems excellent overall. They go onto the Mavic Air easily enough, for it's actually pretty simple. What you want to do is grab your gimbal like that with your thumb, and then just gently untwist this ring with your fingers. If this ring doesn't come off very easily, sometimes wrapping a rubber band around it will help, and then it just pops off just like that. Now, grab it like that with your thumb, thread the new filter on. Other than those few little nitpicks, the Freewell filters are fantastic, great accessories for your drone. They will do wonders for your footage and really help take your footage to another level if used correctly. Thanks for watching this video. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. The bell icon will let you know every time I upload a new video or go live, which I intend to do soon on this channel, and talk to you live about drones or about other things I'm doing up here. So if that's something you're interested in, let me know in the comments below. Other than that, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you again soon on the next video. Yeah, coffee is good. I like coffee. I like coffee a lot.